beloved quad day. Got quads and light hams, one exercise of hams and the end of the quad workout. Just warming up here on extensions. When we warm up, the key is to literally warm up, not just the muscle, but bring your body temperature up. You might even break a sweat, and you will fatigue a little bit, but you don't want to tire yourself out too much. And the goal is to send the neurological signal and send blood to the muscle you're training. Your body doesn't know it's leg day, so you just walk into the gym, start pushing heavy weight, you're gonna use every muscle to move that weight. But when you focus mentally and get a pump and get blood flow to that muscle, it makes it much easier and more efficient to activate the muscle throughout the workout. So that's the goal when you're warming up. You want to start with the leg press? Sometimes if I'm feeling tight, I'll do some light stretching in the middle of my warm-ups. But I always get asked the question, when do you stretch, before or after training? You never want to stretch static stretching, holding a stretch for a prolonged period of time before you train. Because a relaxed, stretched, elongated muscle is the opposite of what you're doing when you're training. When you're training, you're tensing and shortening the muscle. So stretching before training can lead to injury. You want to stretch after you work out. Aids in recovery, brings blood flow brings nutrients. And also after you work out, you're so warm, you're more pliable. So it's a great time to stretch. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, hopefully. I see. So throughout the year, something that's changed for me a lot with leg training is my range of motion and my technique. I've always been a full range of motion guy, ass to grass squats, and I always recommend that for anyone getting into weightlifting, because in the beginning you want to do full range, you want to fully develop the muscle and learn the appropriate form. But over the years, trying to get my quads up, my quads were like my weaker body part in my opinion. I realized that stopping 90 degrees or doing half the rep was really stimulating my quad more, because when you go all the way down on a leg press or a squat and the quad is fully stretched, it's weakened. So if you're all the way down, that first few inches is gonna be hamstringing glute. And that's great, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's not getting all of the resistance to the quad. So that's what I've been doing the past year, and it's actually a lot harder for me. I realized going all the way down on squats, hack squats, or on leg press was easier for me. So stopping at 90 degrees, or even sometimes less, was activating my quad more, and it was harder. So just being something different and challenging myself, it's improved my quads a lot. That being said, I've told a lot of you guys about my TFL hip issue pain that I've had. So I've been working around that and trying to avoid anything that hurts. But my point is that what's textbook and what you're supposed to do isn't always the right thing. So you gotta really pay attention to how you feel and what's working for you. Five more. Let's go, 5. I got it.
Love this machine, so it's a little easy for me. Luckily, I have no pain. So, thing with the legs and me, like, you know, some people, they have the connection with the mind and muscle. Like, they don't have to work on it. It just comes by nature. Like, I had big legs, always had big legs. So, I think because I feel them more, it's not like a visualizer or something. I just close my eyes. I just focus on, like, flexing my leg, like we flex on stage. Like we flex. It's just I'm flexing. Every rep I'm flexing. Keep the core tight. Breathe in. Push. Push hard. Go heavy. Right there. Right there. Okay. Okay. There you go. So Rash, I have a question about the logbooks. Do you recommend you use it, or what's your say on it?
I do recommend it. Many, many years I didn't use it, but my workouts were so short when I did the high intensity training that I always tell you guys about, the heavyweight, low volume, that I knew what I did last week. And I used to do the same workouts week after week after week. A lot of guys think you need to change to shock the body. Not really. If you're pushing hard and you're increasing every week, reps or weight, you're fine. So logbooks are good to track what you did in the past so you could go and look, and also so you make sure next week you do the same or heavier, same weight or more, same reps or more. A lot of times you forget, maybe it's 1 or 2 reps or 5 pounds lighter. So it's good so you make sure you're progressing and always beating last week. So that's what's really important. Dorian always did that. Dorian Yates has logbooks of what he ate and what weight he pushed every day for his whole career. That being said, I don't recommend you guys coming into the gym with a fucking duffel bag and a book this big with calculators. Every time I see someone like that,
right now,
it's really disrespectful to everybody else, and you're taking up too much of your fucking time. So either remember it and write that shit down after your workout, or put it in your notes on your phone. Just copy and paste last week's and just tweak what you do differently. But it's good to keep track. But if it's taken away from your workout, no. I think a lot of the younger guys these days, too much fancy shit. The glows, the gears, the duffel bag. Just fucking train.
And one more thing, like you said, like you don't change your workout that much.
No.
So people, like I have clients, you have clients, like they tell us, they always ask us like, oh, change our workout. It's been like a month, only like a month they get bored with the workout.
They want to get their money's worth. Like when I have a new client, I always send them a voice note, like a few minutes long, explaining everything. And if they really need a new workout to feel better, I'll give them one. I tweak things, but there's only so many exercises for each muscle. I'm not talking about the million fancy variations. Just the meat and potatoes, biceps, back, shoulders, legs. We all pretty much do the same shit with some variation. You pick a couple of exercises that feel right for you, that are hard and intense, and you feel good, and you stick with them. You could swap here and there. You could change the order of the exercises.
Like 1 week we might go heavy on bench press, and next time we'll be heavy on like incline.
Yeah.
Just change the order a little bit.
Yeah. But like I did incline, flat, and dumbbell flies for chest for about 20 fucking years.
And you have the best
my chest is one of my best body parts.
Yeah.
It's not what you do, it's how you do it. That's gotta be my motto, my catchphrase, and I say that all the time. I gotta make underwear with that shit on it. Let's go. Easy. Breathe. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Come on. Good, come on, 15. Go for 10 more. Let's go, push. Breathe. Breathe. Come on, come on.
Good shot.
I didn't do much.
Now I was about to do 20. Come on, let's go. Tight. Pull. Yep. Everything tight. Yep. Push. Go. So today we're mostly doing presses. Usually we don't do squats. Either we do this one, horizontal squat. We might do this, or we do the hack squat. But today we only gonna do the presses. We just did one, the regular press that we have at every gym. Now we're gonna do the horizontal. Then after this, we jump into the vertical. Vertical is his favorite now, right, Arash?
Yeah, because
Fucking did 7 plates.
anything that doesn't hurt me, my quads is like working around the pain in my TFL and hip. So it turns out I had a tear in my labrum on the left side and my glute. I got an MRI like about a month ago. So it's unfortunate, it sucks, but I've been doing my best. We had several good weeks of leg training, but when I got closer to Olympia, more cardio and pushing harder, lower calories, it started hurting a lot more. And I do the spin bike at home. It's convenient, but I realize it's aggravating it. So now I started doing stairs the past week. It's helping a little, but it just sucks, man. For you guys that are injury, pain-free, seriously cherish that shit. I see a lot of guys just being lazy and slacking, but there's nothing wrong with them. You don't realize how good you have it until you start having some wear and tear, and you gotta work around it and park your ego at times.
We don't do squat or anything like that, but we make sure like we work every single part of our leg. Like we make sure our whole leg is pumped.
Yeah, it's a big question. Do you need squats to get your legs big? Yes and no. If you train adequately, correctly, good form in other areas, no, you could get your legs big without squats. That being said, I squatted heavy and squatted every week for 10, 15 years. I just stopped squatting really heavy the past like 4 or 5 years because of my hip issue. Dorian didn't squat, but if you watch him train, the intensity and control he trained with on leg press and hack squats is more than 90% people do with squats. So again, it's not what you do, it's how you do it. If you squat half-ass, you're better off not squatting and doing leg press and hack squat at 100%.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5.
One thing you guys don't see when people are training, you just see the weight and you see the ease, but you don't realize what the person's doing. So I can be lifting 20, 30% heavier on everything you see today, but the focus I put on my legs and on my feet make the world of a difference. So here, width is not so important for quad sweep or ham. It's height. When you go really high on leg presses, it's more hamstring. When you bring your feet down, it's more quad. So my feet are at the bottom of the platform. I'm lowering with my heel, pausing for a millisecond and pushing up with my heel. If I just push and muscle the weight up and use my toes, the pressure comes from other areas. But I'm focusing on keeping the tension on the outer sweep. So before I even got to, I don't know what it was, 10, 15 reps, my outer sweep is on fire. So you want to keep the tension on the area that you want to train and just keep it in that range. So you're not really resting at the top and bottom. And where you put the weight on your feet is fucking so crucial when training legs.
True.
Just a warm up, bro, come on. All heels. Come on, Vicky. Good. Good fucking set.
How many weeks out is that?
About 6.
How do you feel?
Feel all right. It's been a rough year with the injury. It's been hard to click with the training. Like, I haven't taken a month off in over 10 years. I haven't skipped a beat since 2014 when I started competing. So I got a couple bumps and bruises, some aches and pains, and I'm all or nothing. So not being able to train at 100% messes with you. Like this leg workout for me, I'm doing my best, but it's like 70% of what I used to do. So it's difficult, you know? It's difficult when you can't give 100%, it affects you. So I'm taking it day by day. I'm doing my best, but it's been definitely a rough year. I'm never close to my weight cutoff. I'm 230 right now, which is pretty decent. My cutoff is 215. Usually I'm like 2 weeks out, I'm about 225, which is always a problem. That's another frustration for me. I don't like to drop 10 pounds in a few days to make weight because it affects the way my physique looks. Last year I was peeled and depleted at 225 and I looked great, but I had to suck down 10 pounds, make weight. And then when you go back up in weight with water or carbing up, you don't always look the same, you know? Fighters just want to rehydrate and perform. They don't care how they look. But when bodybuilders cut weight and go back up, we have to make sure we go back up and look the same. And that's really, really tough. I think 2020 Olympia was my best package ever. Most well-rounded, conditioned, small waist. But pre-judging, it didn't show. I didn't look that great because my body was still rebounding and from that huge weight loss that I had to a day and a half before cut to make weight. So it's tough. Everybody's got to do the same thing. Some guys don't have much weight to cut, so I can't complain. I just have to adjust, maybe try to lose some muscle this year. I know it sounds crazy, but it is at the end of the day muscle mass because I don't have 10 pounds of fat to lose the last week of a show.
Just focus on the pump. That's it. Keep going. 1, 2, 3, 4. Push. 5. Come on. Hold. 6. Beautiful. Come on. Strong. Strong. Push. Yup. Last one. 5 more. Come on. Breathe. Push. 1, 2. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Good. Good set, bro. 2. So for all those who train for like 2-3 hours at the gym, bro, you think you can train like this intensity for 2-3 hours? I don't think so. So workout is short. It's like an hour and that's it. Go hard, go full, go full intensity, and that's it.
Come on. Last set, bro. Last set. Let's go. Push it. Leave nothing in the tank. Good. Come on. Come on. Push. You got a couple more in you. Let's go.
5 more.
Push it. Focus, focus. 2 more, 2 more. Come on. Good. You know, You see the range, right? If you guys doubt it, the range of motion, I'll put his IG profile. Go look at his pictures. He's been training with this range for years. And go look at his quads. If you showed me this range of motion 3 years ago, I'd say, oh, they're not doing it right. But I've noticed a huge difference in my quads, striations in my outer sweep, and denseness. But just look at his legs.
I think it's more about like where and how you feel the muscle. Like everyone has their own range of motion.
But the problem is you tell people that and they're like, okay. And they do something half-assed, they do something wrong, they go, oh, it feels right for me. At the end of the day, mechanics is mechanics. And what I'm saying is when you stop at 90 degrees, if you squat down and you stop at 90,
it's very hard.
For me, it's harder. And at the end of the day, regardless if it's easy or hard for you, you're utilizing more of your quad. If you squat and your ass goes down to your heels, you're utilizing for the first few inches more of your hams and glutes. Nothing wrong with it. But if your goal is to really annihilate your quads, I would stop at 90.
Yep.
Just quads. You know, I used to do this feet closer and it never felt good. I go feet just wide enough where I feel a tension on my outer sweep and 90 degrees. And obviously you want to clear your midsection and have it be comfortable without your ass lifting off the pad. So if done properly, especially at the end of the workout, it's constant tension on my outer sweep and it just fucking finishes them off. I've only been really doing these for like the past 2 months religiously. You know, you go through phases, like certain exercises feel better, you get into a groove, you get into a rhythm. I've been pretty much doing the same leg workout, except we do hack or pendulum. This week I had way too much pain in my hips, so I didn't do the pendulum. But usually the pendulum, which you could show them in a minute, is like the pinnacle of my leg workout. We go pretty heavy on that and it takes the place of a squat, but there's no lower back stress.
Breathe, push, push. So you see, like I always have my hands on my knees or my legs, right? So I'm not pushing, I just control the negative. So I don't come down too fast. It's not even like controlling, it's just I put my hands there so I know, go slow. It's not the push, or it's not the, I'm not doing anything with my hands. It's just a muscle mind thing.
It's light. Easy 15.
Do you always do a warm-up set for the first set of your movement?
No. Warm up 2-3 sets, whatever's needed for the beginning of the workout. But after that, just jump into the sets. But if I'm going really heavy on a new exercise, sometimes I'll ease myself into it with a set of 80%. That was too light, but if you guys are trying to train at 100% and go heavy, every time you do a weight that's 70%, you're just weakening yourself. You're not gonna get stronger, bigger, or grow from it because it's what you've been doing week in and week out. It's not a new stimulus. So what you're doing is weakening yourself for that heavy weight that's about to come that's gonna make the difference, that's gonna make you grow. So that's why I've always been an advocate of warm up, warm up, warm up. Maybe do 1 or 2 reps at 80% to get your nervous system ready for the weight, and then just go heavy. Pyramiding has its time and place. It could be good for beginners, but it weakens you.
Leg. Yup. My turn.
Sit all the way back and pull. Stay back there. Toes up. All the way up, all the way up. Yeah, right there. Come on, keep that ass down. Pull. Pull. Last one. Last exercise, last set. Let's go. Keep going, Vicky, all the way up. Toes to the ceiling. You feel that difference?
Yep.
When you're talking about the high intensity training, this is what it comes down to. As a professional athlete, like a football player, soccer player, becoming efficient is awesome, because if you're efficient at running, you don't burn calories, you don't fatigue during your game. As a bodybuilder, fitness enthusiast, you never want to be efficient at anything, because if it becomes easy and efficient for you, you're not growing, you're not burning calories. You can become efficient at walking, jogging, high reps, moderate reps, doing all this shit. It will never be easy or become efficient at sprinting and high intensity. Heavy fucking weight, explosiveness and sprints never becomes easy. It's always difficult. So it's very, very hard or almost impossible to adapt to that and become efficient. That's why it always works. And that's why if you look at sprinters and boxers and athletes that do explosive movements, they look like little mini bodybuilders. They all look like they're on anabolics. Very hard, very round muscle bellies, very muscular and ripped to shreds. Whereas you see a lot of competitors, bodybuilders, bikini competitors, do an hour and a half of cardio, training for 2 hours, and they just look flat and soft, not muscular, not lean. Think about that. There's a reason for it, and I just told you why. At 12? What time is it? I'm having the hardest time breathing today.
I feel like I'm coming down with something a little bit.
So take vitamins today when we get home.
Feel that at all? Like a little anxiety.
No, I just feel it's tough workout today.
I think there's one time I had it.
What you guys want to pay attention to on hams, we're just doing one exercise, 4 or 5 sets. Get blood flow, help recover from the last ham day. Not enough to annihilate my hams, because we do it separate days. You guys look a couple videos back, we did a hamstring day. But one thing you got to pay attention to is your knee in correlation to the end of the pad. If my knee is too high up here, my whole leg comes up and I use too much of my body. My knee hangs over and I make sure to only use my hamstring, just like a bicep curl. And you want to keep your glutes tense and your body stable. Too much movement here is not only going to aid and take away from your hamstring, makes it easier, but also puts pressure on your back. So I make sure to get real stiff, hold on to the handles, brace my core, and only use the hamstrings. This is very difficult if you do this, but if you guys want to try, when you do the flat one like there, kind of hump the pad. I know it sounds funny, but flex the glutes and push your hips into the pad. Then curl. You're going to be about 30 to 40% weaker, but you're going to be only using your hamstrings. It's pretty much one of the best ways to isolate the hamstring and not using glutes and lower back. Come on, Vicky. Easy, come on. See how big his quads look from behind?
बढ़िया रहा.
Say hi. I gotta be sneaky.
Yep.
Oh shit. What the fuck? We changed so much in a week.
Whew.
That's quick.
So that was it, full leg workout. And for all those who've been saying like, I cannot do squats, this and that, no deadlifts, so this is the workout you should do. And we mostly did presses, but hardcore, like no easy weight. Did some warm up with the leg extension, then we went like all in.
Yeah, if you can't tell, we're done. It was tough day for me, a lot of aches and pains. Normally what we do is a couple sets, 2 to 3 sets, warm up with extensions, moderate, lightweight. About 20 reps. We do a leg press, then we move into the pinnacle of our workout would be a hack squat or a pendulum. This week we just did 3 different variation of presses. So over the past, I'd say 2 months, we've been doing a leg extension, 2 presses, and a pendulum or hack. So really only 4 exercises. We come back to the leg extension at the end and we'll do 2 to 3 heavy sets to count it as an exercise, not a warm up. And with that, with the high intensity and pushing really, really hard, I've been annihilated. So it's not the quantity, it's not the number of exercises. You don't need to do 6 to 8 exercises. Honestly, 6, 7 exercises is kind of the average that I see people doing for legs and back and even sometimes shoulders and chest. If you guys are doing 6 to 7 exercises, you're you're not training at 100%. You know, you want to do 6 exercises? No problem. Come, we'll do 6. We'll see how you feel after the second. If you train with intensity and control, you're going to be really shot after your second exercises. Third, you're going to be almost 80% done. You know, so you guys got to train with intensity. It's not so much how much you do and what you choose to do, but how you do it. You can do leg press for your whole leg workout. If you train intense with good form and you go slow, you're gonna kill your quads. Whereas you could do 6 exercises and not even kill your quads because you're not training properly. So again, I keep on saying this, I've said this 10 times in this video, I've said this on my social media, I say this to my clients all the time. It's not what you do, it's how you do it.
It's not about like just moving weights, I always say like flex the muscle. Like whatever we do, like chest, flex, bicep, flex, legs, flex. We flex with the weight. If you cannot flex without weight, you cannot flex with the weight.
Listen, I wish that wasn't the case. Weightlifting is fucking easy. Picking up weights, throwing them around, heavy weight, it's easy. When you start moving weights and you start trying to pose and flex your quads at the top, that shit is hard. It's not fun. It burns. You know, weight that you can do easily for 25 reps becomes really hard to do 15. So focusing on the contraction, going slow on the negatives, flexing and squeezing. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, this stuff is not really that fun all the time and is difficult. Most guys come into the gym like, oh, we're having fun. They just throw around weight, they get a little pumped, they get stronger, they feel good. And that's fine, but we're bodybuilders, and most of you guys that are listening to this are bodybuilders, even if you're not competing. What I mean by bodybuilder is you're training for changes in body composition. You want to mold your body. You want to look a certain way. You know, I was a bodybuilder for 21 years. I never competed. I consider myself a bodybuilder. We're not training for weight. I'm not trying to curl a heavy weight or do a power lift or train and compete in powerlifting. I'm training to sculpt my body. And you got to think. You have to think like an artist and a scientist of what you can do to be the most efficient and get yourself looking the freakiest you can. How to get your shoulders bigger faster. Is it just lifting heavy weight, or is it certain forms, certain exercises? And this is what I try to talk to you guys about and teach you in my videos on YouTube and Instagram on exercises. It's really tough. It's not always so easy. Like the leg extensions, squeezing at the top and flexing like you're flexing on stage. It's really, really hard. You guys try that next time you train any body part. Really like pose, flex on the top of a bicep curl, pretend you're hitting a bicep pose. I mean, in weight that you're gonna do for 15 reps, you'll be dead at 8 reps.
You gotta visualize like you on stage and you flexing. Like if you're an athlete, you compete, you should know like how you feel on stage. So I personally and him, I know, like we visualize like we on stage, and then we like engage the muscle, and then we pump. Isolate it, a pump, and just focus on the same muscle.
And if you guys aren't competing, visualize being at the beach, visualize being in the club, flexing for the girl. You know, it's like no one sees you in the street. It doesn't say 300-pound bench press, I curl 50 pounds. They don't see that. They just see the way you look, right? And I'm not saying we train for other people, but most of us are training to look a certain way and we feel better about ourselves, right? So what would you rather do? Lift 200 pounds and not look like it, or lift 20 pounds and have no injuries and look like you lift 200 pounds? You know what I'm saying? I mean, my type of training is always high intensity and heavy weight, so there's no 20 pounds in my training, but my point is, you know, I want to do the least amount of damage getting the most amount of results. I want to do the least amount of work getting the most amount of results. Going into a diet and doing 2 hours of cardio and being 1,000 calorie deficit is not smart. You want to eat the most amount of food you can while getting leaner. You want to do the least amount of work as possible while getting paid more. You know what I'm saying? Why do an hour of cardio if you're getting ripped on 30 minutes? So this is what I'm trying to explain to you guys and teach you guys, shit that I've learned over 27 years now. Makes me feel old, and a lot of mistakes that I've made I don't want you guys to make. You know, it's not too complicated. Keep it basic, train hard, eat and sleep, and I promise you, you'll grow.
Look at me, bro. I'm eating like 4,000 or 5,000 calories, and I'm training hard like 4 or 5 days a week, and I'm still pretty lean. Like, I mean, it's not like I'm gaining fat because I'm burning calories. I'm pushing myself. I'm lifting heavy. I never did like 130, 140 pound dumbbells, overhead press, but now I'm doing it. So I'm not like getting fat. I'm eating all those calories and I'm utilizing it. I'm pushing weight. It's not like I'm in the gym, I'm on my phone, I'm talking to someone, and that's it. 40, 50 minutes, we're done. We're out of the gym.
Absolutely. He's pushing his limits, and we expect you guys to do the same. Follow us, subscribe if you haven't already. Check out Vicky's Instagram and his YouTube channel. Comment below what you guys want to see and hear from us next time. Till next time, guys, keep at it, train hard, and don't slack.